Good afternoon, Hawks fans, and welcome back to another episode of the Atlanta Sports District. I'm your host, Russell Spence, coming to you with episode 18 so far in this inaugural season. We are broadcasting directly after a wonderful win for the Atlanta Hawks, 124-122 at the Phoenix Suns. I'll be honest, I have no idea what the heck I just watched. That was an absolutely wild game, and let's get into exactly what all happened throughout the game. So first of all, we had a very weird situation where Kristaps was randomly out tonight. There didn't seem to be any notice or warning prior to the game. I usually check the injury report throughout the day of a game, and there was nothing listed, and all of a sudden he was out. I wonder if we might get a fine from the NBA for doing that like we did last year with Trey. Early on, we were struggling to defensive rebound a lot. That's a consistent problem we've been having. And I just wrote this might be a defensive grudge match kind of game in general. Early on, the Hawks were really attacking the paint. And when they did that, the Suns were forced to take the first time out. They were up 17-11 Atlanta. Right after that timeout, there was an insane play by Jalen Johnson on a crazy putback dunk where nobody boxed him out, and he made a play only he could play, going and throwing it down real nice and easy. Right after that, so we had a pretty big lead built up, and for some reason, we went back with what I am now going to lovingly refer to as the very stupid lineup. We had Keaton, Kennard, Veit, Mo, Onyeka. Again, very small. Not going to work defensively. I'm going to keep having to say it apparently, but it doesn't work. And that lineup was able to keep the score in a victory. We were winning, but we were not playing well. And we ended the quarter 25-21. After we'd been up pretty considerable, we ended the quarter only up 4. The second quarter starts. We keep that same lineup in, and who would have thunk it? But they were struggling to consistently get stops. Crazy, right? Defensive rebounding was a big problem with those players on the court, and we couldn't get a board to save our lives. And then, all of a sudden, Mo is having to make every defensive play. He gets in foul trouble because he's having to fly around the court, and they're calling tic-tac touch fouls on him. And for some reason, he's not allowed to play defense. Other players are allowed to brutally murder our players and don't get anything called. Our guy breathes on Devin Booker the wrong way, blows in his ear, and gets a foul called. But so Mo gets pulled out, and we put in Asa, and it was rough for a little bit. We start putting the starters back in. And when we do, the lead immediately runs right back out. We're up 50-37 in no time. And right about then, the Suns call timeout. They put in a kind of, I'll call it the hounding, harassing lineup for them. And they immediately go on a run. We're playing horribly. And now it's 50-47. We haven't scored, and they scored 10 straight points. There's a freak play where Dylan Brooks is driving. That happens right after this. And he hits Dyson on what's kind of a close call. It could be a charge. It could be a block. It's pretty close. And so after he hits Dyson, Dyson falls backwards and hits his head on Okongwu's knee. And it looks bad for both parties. They're both laying on the ground hurting pretty bad. So we call timeout and challenge the charge call and challenge the charge block. While we're doing that, we then let our medical staff make sure that Onyeka and that Dyson are good. I thought that was a very smart challenge because it was twofold. We didn't win the challenge, but I thought it was a good challenge because it allowed us to get those players seen about rather than just like letting them go on and keep playing and maybe be playing hurt. It gave them a chance to catch their breath, make sure they're good, get them some water, make sure to stretch out Onyeka's leg, that sort of thing. I thought that was a great challenge. We didn't win it, but it happens. Right after that, things started getting really chippy on both ends. And Dillon Brooks was up underneath Jalen, really close to him. Jalen swung his elbow through, caught Dillon Brooks on the chin. I don't think it was as hard as he made it look like it was, but he did get him a little bit, and they call a flagrant one on Jalen. At the end of the half, the score is 58-57 Phoenix. The third quarter was rough, and mostly it was rough from the officiating crew. I just wrote the officiating has been really rough. It's letting really, really physical play go with no punishment. Then I write Dillon Brooks is being let play a crazy physical game. The amount of physicality he was allowed to have is not conducive to enforcing the rule book. If you're trying to enforce the rule book, a player playing with that kind of physicality, with reckless physicality, it's against the rules. That's the reason you should call a foul, is because it's written in the rule book. If you don't like the rules, change the rule book. But right now, every time Dillon Brooks puts two hands on a guy's chest, it's a foul. Every time he swipes down at a basketball and catches somebody on the arm as he hits it, it's a foul. You got to start calling this stuff, because Dillon Brooks is allowed to let play like this every game. And when you let players play this physical, what happens tonight happens. What I mean by that is they play this physical, insanely physical brand of basketball the whole third quarter and take a huge lead. They take almost a 20-point lead, and it goes over 20-point lead in the fourth quarter. They're allowed to play this insanely crazy physical game with no repercussions. And right after that, Zach gets hurt. Fourth quarter starts. I just said the rebounding's been really terrible. All of a sudden, I write, where has this defensive intensity been all game? We start getting steals. We're going on a little bit of a run. We're within 15 after being down like 21, 23 points. We're within 15. Zach gets a steal, goes down the court, goes up for a dunk, gets undercut, takes an extremely hard fall, and cannot get up. There's no telling what's wrong with him. He could have broken a bone. He could have a severe dislocation. He could have torn a ligament. When you allow a team to play that physically, you're going to get players hurt. And this is what I don't understand about the NBA. The money is in the athletes. People tune in to see your Kevin Durant's, your Trae Young's, your LeBron James's. If you let teams play this physically, your stars get hurt. Zachary Reese, I say, was the first pick in the draft. He should be one of those players that people tune in to watch, and you let him get hurt because you let the team he was playing against play this insanely physically. You have to crack down on stuff like this, because you're going to get your players hurt. The money is in the players. Never forget that. The money isn't in the ads, the money isn't in the scoring, the money isn't in the coaches, the money isn't in the officiating, the money isn't even in the game. Most fans tune in to watch their favorite player. And if you let that favorite player get hurt because you're allowing things that are against the rule book, that will cost the league money. Always. So why do they let teams play like this? It's certain teams and certain players that are allowed to let just be ridiculously physical with no repercussions at all. Honestly, Miami, I don't know why they're allowed to play the way they are. Toronto, I don't know why they're allowed to play the way they are. At times, Detroit, and we've seen what Isaiah Stewart does. Right now, Phoenix is allowed to play this way, and nobody's been able to do anything about it, because if you let them turn the game into a UFC fight, they don't have to be better basketball players than you. All they have to do is be better at UFC fighting. That's not the point of basketball. The point of basketball is to be skilled, to have teamwork, to be connected. That's the beauty of basketball, is that you don't have to be the biggest, strongest guy. You just need to be the most skilled and the most connected team. Well, when you turn the game into a UFC fight, that throws all that out the window. And that's what they're letting the Suns do. But tonight it came back to bite them. Because in the fourth quarter, we start playing more intensely on defense. We're getting steals, we're getting stops, we're playing together and connected, and they start actually calling the game fair. If a foul happens, they start calling it. And you can see Dillon Brooks, it's getting in his head. He's getting frustrated. He gets a technical foul. He gets all this stuff going on. He's yelling at the referees. They almost eject him. We end up turning on the gas in the fourth quarter, come storming all the way back, and we take the lead on a lob to Onyeka Okongwu, 117 to 116. From there, we continue this crazy ending. We're still playing great defense. We get a rebound, we kick it up to Jalen Johnson, and they need to foul. They need to start putting people on the free throw line because we're up. They foul Jalen and put him on the free throw line, but then they challenge. It's a back tip kind of foul where he gets him on the arm. And Jalen makes both his free throws. Right after that, we give up a basket by Booker. And we call timeout and advance the ball. Here, I don't love exactly what we did. Just going to put that out there. First of all, we inbound the ball to Onyeka. I like Onyeka, but you need to be looking to inbound the ball to Kennard or Naw in these situations. Of our current players, obviously Trey would be the guy that we usually look at, but he's not here. But so we inbound it to Onyeka, and he makes both his. We don't put in Mo for the defensive possession. Instead, we put in Dyson and call for a foul. So he fouls Devin Booker, putting him on the free throw line. Devin Booker makes both his free throws, which I, honestly, as a coach, I would have told him make the first, miss the second, go for the rebound. I feel like that would have given them a better chance of winning because there was only like 4 or 5 seconds left. Well, he makes both his free throws. We call another timeout. We put back in our free throw shooting lineup. We inbound it to Onyeka again. They don't foul him. They waste a few seconds, and they get a tie-up. So now we're doing a jump ball at midcourt. Devin Booker is the one jumping against Onyeka. He tries to get the ball early. When he went too early, they have, of course, called that. You can't get the ball on the way up. You have to try to hit it at the apex. So now we get the ball back, and they've wasted a second or two trying to get the ball tied up with Onyeka. So then we inbound it to Naw this time, and while he's shooting the free throws, I'm screaming, why is Mo not being put in this game? We once again do not put in Mo. I don't get it. Mo is by far and away one of our best defenders. It's him and Dyson is the 2 best defenders on the whole team. So why are they not putting in Mo? It just doesn't make any sense. It's a defensive-only possession. So put in Mo. Well, they choose not to. We end up not giving up the basket. Naw actually misses his second free throw. Their player fields the rebound, 3/4 court heave, actually comes pretty close to hitting it, but it bounces off the rim, comes off. Hawks win, 124-122, as I said earlier. So, moving to the player-by-player. Interesting game for sure. Asa only played 9 minutes, but he had 8 points and only 1 rebound. His rebounding was rough tonight, but offensively he played well. Defensively, he was fine. Just they were a very physical basketball team, and so that over physicality, I think, messed with him just a little bit. Next, we'll move to Mo Gay. Mo only played 10 minutes. It's not enough. He's too good a player to be only playing 10 minutes. He's got to play more. I really would like to see Jalen at the 3. A lot more than we've been doing it. Allowing Mo to play more. That's how I would find those minutes. Next, we'll talk about Keaton Wallace. Keaton had 5 points on 2 of 4 from the field, 1 of 2 from 3. He had 1 rebound, 1 assist, 1 turnover. He only played 12 minutes, as I said. Not not a bad game. He honestly, because all the minutes that he was in, they had Colin Gillespie in, and he did a pretty good job guarding Gillespie. Gillespie's a really good player. He's kind of your perfect backup point guard. Doesn't turn the ball over. He's a great shooter. Makes his free throws. Is solid, but he's small. And so with a guy like Keaton, it's a little bit more understandable. He can kind of manage that matchup. Moving on, Luke Kennard played 12 minutes. He was 0 of 2 from the field, 0 of 2 from 3. Dude, shoot the ball more. I don't get it. Why are you not shooting? When I played, I was a shooter. That was my whole thing. I like shooting the basketball. I would hunt. I'd be sprinting around. Give me the ball. Find me. I'm going to shoot it every time I get the chance. If I see a sliver of light, I'm popping it up there. I don't get being Luke Kennard, being one of the greatest statistical shooters of all time and going, yeah, I'm okay. If I don't shoot, this is what it is what it is. No. Dude, I am trying to find my shot. I'm going to hit it, and I'm going to let you know about how the heck did you let me, Luke Kennard, one of the best shooters in the world, be open? You're an idiot. You can't do that. You can't leave me. That's what I would be thinking. Like me personally, that's what I do. That is how I think when I play basketball. How dare you leave me open? Luke Kennard doesn't do this. To me, it makes no cognitive sense, and he's not good enough at anything else. If he's only shooting the ball twice in a game, what is he doing? What's he doing out there if he's only going to shoot the ball twice? And we saw that in the rotation. They stopped playing him because he wouldn't shoot. He only played 12 minutes. Moving on, Vít Krejci played 22 minutes. He had 7 points, 3 of 7 from the field, 1 of 5 from 3. 3 rebounds, 2 assists, only 1 turnover. He finally came back to earth. I mean, Vít had been like on some cosmic voodoo. I don't know what to call it, but he was not missing for a while, for a couple of games. And like he's human, of course he's gonna miss, but I thought he still played pretty well. And the 1-3 he did hit was a huge one at the end of the game that really like snowballed the run that we were making. So honestly, he played pretty well, but I was happy to see that he did not play more than Zach. Again, I think Zach's playing well enough, and especially defensively, that you need to play Zach as much as possible. Moving to the starters, Zach played our least amount of minutes, but again, he got hurt. He would have closed the game, I think, and then he would have been in the 30s, which is what I've been calling for, is for him to play more than 30 minutes. He played 26 minutes. He had 15 points, 6 of 13 shooting, 3 of 8 from 3, good percentage there, and nice hunting for his shot. He had 3 rebounds, 4 assists, only 1 turnover. Played very, very well. Very good on defense. I hope he's healthy. I'm worried about the health. I'm worried about that fall. I am going to be desperately watching to see what exactly is announced in terms of that injury. I would not expect him to play Tuesday. Like I said, it was a hard fall. And that's what happens when you let teams play like this. Moving on, Nickeil Alexander-Walker played 35 minutes. He had 26 points on 9 of 18 shooting, 3 of 9 from 3, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2 turnovers. He played really well. He's been playing really well. I've liked a lot more what I've seen of Nall in the last maybe 2 weeks, where he's taking better shots. That I think when players first hear from Quinn Snyder and Quinn says, "Hey, if you're open, shoot it. If you're open, shoot it." And he beats that in your brain. That's like his big thing. And I agree with that. I just talked about how Luke Kennard needs to shoot the ball more. But when some players hear that, they think, shoot every time I touch it because I'm open. I'm technically open. It's like, are you open or do you think you're open? Well, Nall is finding that balance now, and he's still taking a high number of looks, but they're all ones that he's catching on balance, and he is open, and he should shoot it, and he shoots it, and it's going in more. The percentages are getting better. He's scoring more points. He's playing really well, and this is the kind of thing where I'm like, when Trey comes back, you have a dude like that on your bench, that's a huge asset. So, like I said, I would love to see this Nall stay for the rest of the year because I think this is a player that's extraordinarily valuable. Hunts their shot like he is and gets the open looks and takes them and makes them and plays the defense he's playing. That's a player I'm cool having on the floor. Moving on to Dyson Daniels. Dyson played 37 minutes. He had 11 points on 5 of 6 shooting, 7 rebounds, 12 assists, and 4 turnovers. It's a little bit high turnover, but Dyson played great. Dyson, again, you don't have to shoot the ball a million times, but you just have to be a threat offensively. 11 points, perfect. You did exactly what you're supposed to. Just make them guard you. And then 12 assists, playing downhill, playing active. Once they stop him, play passive. It was a beautiful, beautiful game from Dyson in that regard. And he was one of the key things that sparked that run in the fourth quarter, his defense, and his defense leading to easy offense, allowing us to run away with the score in the fourth, storm back, and end up winning the game. Next, we'll talk about Onyeka. Onyeka had 37 minutes, 27 points on 9 of 15 shooting, 3 of 9 from 3, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, only 2 turnovers. I would love for you to find a center that's not considered a superstar, that's playing better than Onyeka Okongwu is right now. If anybody can find me one, go ahead. I mean, maybe Jalen Duren is also taking a kind of step like Onyeka is. But I mean, find me a center that's playing as well as he is on defense, is also hunting his three-point shot, is having a great assist to turnover ratio, is a very good ball handler, is communicating well with his teammates, is learning to set better screens, is an absolutely wonderful player in pick and roll and pick and pop. Find me another center that can do all the things Onyeka can. I'll wait. Put it in the comments. I don't think you're going to find one. He's playing awesome. I would like to see him be the starter for the rest of his career in Atlanta. Just go ahead and pencil it in, boom, stamp it. He's the starter as long as he's not elderly. I mean, I think like Capella, when he got older and we were still starting him, but it was very obvious that Okongwu was becoming the better player. Like if that happened to Okongwu, then you say, hey, we really appreciate what you've done, but you're going to come off the bench from now on. But that's going to be a long time. Onyeka is a young man. I really like what I've seen from him. He's not going to be super expensive because he's not considered a superstar. Keep him around. He's a great player. And moving on to Jalen Johnson. Jalen had an interesting game. He played 39 minutes. He had 25 points on 13 shots. That's some really good efficiency, let's just say. 2 of 3 from 3, 9 of 13 from the field. 10 rebounds, 7 assists, but 5 turnovers. He struggled with turnovers today. Dillon Brooks is kind of his kryptonite because you can't just run through Dillon. He's stocky and well built. I mean, he's strong, might be even a little bit on the heavy side. And he's quick with his hands. And so Jalen couldn't just dribble around him because he would just poke it out. And so a lot of the turnovers Jalen had were on that sort of thing where it's like Dillon Brooks tips it or Dillon Brooks gets a hand on the pass because he knows what's coming. But also, most of the time when Dillon Brooks was guarding Jalen Johnson, he was fouling the heck out of him. So, normal officiating crew, normal officiated game, that probably doesn't happen. You probably don't have those turnovers, so I'm not going to hold that against Jalen. He didn't have superhuman, alien, Martian Manhunter kind of game like he had against Utah, but he still played really well. He's still playing like an all-star. He's still playing a guy who could make an All-NBA team. He's playing great. I can't wait to see him continue to play with this much aggressiveness, with Trey also being on the floor. So that's my thoughts from the Hawks game against the Phoenix Suns. Now I would like to discuss the G League. And I know I am one video behind on the G League, and the reason why is because I had some traveling I had to do this weekend. But today at 2 p.m., the College Park Skyhawks played their first game that I have not watched in over 4 years. I am quite infuriated about that. Because I went to go tune in. I had looked up what it was supposed to be, and for a long time it said it was going to be on the G League app. And then suddenly, today at some point, it said that it was going to be on NBA TV, and only NBA TV. Well, I go and I look, and we have Hulu plus live TV. They don't carry NBA TV. I look up what does. What it says is only DirecTV has NBA TV linked to it. Nobody else can watch it. So I go and I say, is there any other way I can watch this game? Oh, you could buy a league pass that's hundreds of dollars. I do not understand, and this goes with NBA games, this goes with G League games. Why does the NBA alienate its biggest fans? I will always watch. I will watch the game if you make it reasonable. Even if it had been a reasonable price to figure out how to watch it today, I would have paid the $5. I'm not paying hundreds of dollars to watch one G League game. Why are you making it inaccessible for even your most devoted fans? Why are you putting certain games on Peacock when people don't have that streaming service? A lot of people don't. Why are you putting games on things like Apple TV Plus? Some of the G League games and some people have been put on Apple TV Plus. Why are some of them being streamed on Amazon? Why? It doesn't make sense. You are alienating your fans. You need to figure out exactly what you're going to do, NBA, and put a streaming service together that can easily be accessed by all of your most dedicated fans, that doesn't cost hundreds of dollars like League Pass does. What is that? It makes no sense to me. The NBA is completely and totally ridiculous with where you have to watch the games. I mean, the fact that I in my brain had to be like, well, Mondays I have to watch the National Slate game on Peacock, and Tuesdays are also the National Slate game on Peacock, and then Wednesdays sometimes it's on NBA TV, so I might have to find a different way to watch that game, or like I might have to go to some sports bar or something to watch the National Slate game on Wednesdays, and then on Thursdays and Fridays, that's when it's on ESPN, so then I can watch it through Hulu. And so then, so now Saturdays, it's back on NBA TV because they're competing with college football. Why does I have to make this schedule in my head just to watch the National Slate game every night? Explain that to me. Why is it that a person who refuses to miss a G League game can't watch the G League? You're just hurting your viewership numbers. That's all you're doing. I don't get it. In general, the G League played well in these two games. I'm going to break it down exactly what happened in the two games. I did watch the game play-by-play up for today's game, and I did watch the game that happened on Friday. So, again, there will be a video coming for that. Hawks play a game on Tuesday back at home against the Detroit Pistons. And in general, I'm liking where the Hawks are going. I'm liking how the Skyhawks are playing. I just get so frustrated when I feel like the NBA doesn't understand what they should be doing. I mean, you make most of your money from ad revenue. Well, your ad revenue goes up when your viewership goes up. So how in the world does it seem smart to alienate the people who want to watch your games? I don't get it. My rant's over. Again, there will be another video coming. Let me know what you think about the Hawks right now, and let me know what you think about this insanely physical play that gets allowed by certain teams. I don't get it. Hit me up in the comments, shoot me a message, like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff, do the YouTube things, but most of all, have a great day.